Good Friday morning. Wow. What a change of weather. Boy, the cool weather is actually here. I mean, it's not really cold, but cooler. But hey, good Friday morning. Wow, what a change up. First time something in my house in ages. Everybody, ages. Hard to believe even for me. It's 20 years ago. Joe's father, who sadly passed years ago, actually helped restore my home. And in 2005, shortly thereafter we had Julia, we moved out of the house and we moved to my parents' house up there on the hill. And we lived up there for about, I have to say, good 6 months as Joe's father renovated the inside of that home. It wasn't the way it looks today because we didn't have that front room. But that upstairs loft area is so nice. And it's just hard for me to believe. 20 years later, everybody. It's 20 years later when I had that renovated and I had the bathroom redone. I kind of redesigned that upper loft area in that home. And so it's just hard for me to believe. All the bathroom fixtures, the shower, all that stuff is now officially 20 years old. See here, what a difference. What a difference. Or there's somebody coming in here at nighttime and eating all the food. So yeah, so I changed it up, moved up to the house, didn't see the trailer, and it is a big difference, that bed. The bed in the house is really a big difference. Who's here? Come on, Tang Tang. Come on, get her. Come on, Tang, come on. It is a big difference on the comfort level of sleeping and just the whole environment. Plus, like, taking a shower this morning, it was like, holy crow, I'm a king. Because that shower is so big compared to the camper. So you live in a camper, I mean, a camper is very tight quarters. So until you live in a camper, you really don't get it. And then it really isn't perfectly level. It is, but it's not. So anyway, just kind of doing a shout out on the fact that I am back in the house, and I think for the most part I will be. Just kind of not have my own private area. And it's interesting how I've lived in 3 parts of that home. That main upstairs bedroom, master bedroom, and then eventually the loft area you saw, but then eventually the back end of the home that I built as well. So I've lived in 3 different parts of that home throughout the years of living here since 1991, and that whole house is a whole different house from when I moved here. And then here we're over to the camper. I need my morning coffee, which I do the little K-cup thing. So I gotta get in here and get my coffee, everybody. All right, got the morning brew. Where'd the doggies go? There they are. More pups. Yeah, so goodness gracious, good night's sleep too. And actually the room wasn't so bright. It's that back side of the house where the room is so freaking bright that it's just hard to sleep because it's too damn bright. Boy, I tell you what, everybody, it's really starting to thin out, everybody. I talked about it the other day about how it's a year later and how long it takes to separate yourself from buying so much material things. And you can honestly say, watch my channel, you can vouch, tell anybody, it's like, yeah, you start buying a lot of stuff and you try to get rid of it, it takes quite a while just to go through all the process, and it's not over because like I've said many times, now I just have invisible payments. I have all those vehicles that you used to see sitting in my driveway, the property here, and now they're just invisible of monthly obligations. I still have monthly obligations for all those vehicles that were taken away because I couldn't afford to keep paying on them. And it's interesting to hear the different views and different sides of opinion that people take in this car industry that we all revolve our life around. I'd have to say most people that are subscribers to my channel are car enthusiasts as well. I would have to honestly say that for the most part, that everybody here that follows me has some type of love for the car, motorcycle, truck, SUV, whatever it may be. So you're just as much as part of the problem than I am. Not on the radical side like I am, but you're a car enthusiast and you enjoy the vehicles that are in our country, stateside and the not stateside cars, the Japanese and European, German-made cars, blah, 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 motorcycles. And so I was saying yesterday, when I kind of ran out of time, that I truly believe that the car industry is such the marketing machine. It's nonstop. It's 24/7. And for me, I've talked about this over the years. Me being a guy that's always been out in the field most of his life, what am I surrounded by 24/7? But cars and trucks and motorcycles. And what am I surrounded by as I go to do my business is car dealerships, motorcycle dealerships. So all I see all day long in my life is all these cars, all these vehicles. And then you add on top of that, you have all the advertising of all these vehicles. Whether you're on the internet, you're looking at a magazine, it's a never-ending marketing ploy of the car industry to lure you to think that the next thing is a better thing and you need to get rid of the thing that you have. So for me, once again, I'm not going to play the victim of what I've created upon myself, but at the same time, you have to honestly say, who in the country, who do you know that's been an advocate to say that the car industry has abused its policies on the consumers? And so you say, well, that's kind of a vague statement. What does that really mean? Well, what I mean by that is the marketing in the car industry has abused shoving down our throats the never-ending content of you need a new vehicle. You need a different vehicle. You need a better vehicle. What's the success of Motor Trend magazine, Truck Trend magazine, Car and Driver magazine? You can go through the list, and I know now through the internet, but at the real true beginnings was they're all magazines that all they ever talked about was the latest, greatest, newest thing that the auto manufacturers were bringing to the marketplace, that they used their magazines for the marketing ploy to get you to think about the vehicle you have right now isn't as good as the one that the manufacturer is building for you to have the next one. And so it's just a constant, it's a constant, constant feeding the machine, and especially those people that are motorhead enthusiasts, of you constantly looking for the next best, greatest thing. And the marketing employee is always presenting that whatever you have is old news and you need to get the new news. That's the whole business of the auto industry. And it's huge. I mean, sincerely, you really have to say to yourself, what is the most advertised thing that you can think about? I mean, think it through. I mean, the auto industry is so massive that the vehicle is just going down the road in itself as an advertising machine. You have no idea, for me personally, how many new cars I've bought that people have been lured to come talk to me just because of the new car. Not because of me, but because of the new vehicle I've bought. And that drives a lot of people that want to buy a brand new vehicle. That they want, excuse me, they want the morning coffee. I haven't got any coffee yet, everybody. It's just the morning hacking and coughing as you get older. Who doesn't know that routine? But the point is, these vehicles give you attention. And people that want attention, what better way to get attention for you to have the latest, greatest, baddest ass vehicle possible? A lot of people line up begging and pleading to buy the latest, greatest, baddest ass car. I mean, why do they do that? Why? I mean, do you really need the new Corvette? The baddest ass Corvette ever built? Do you really need that? I mean, are you really going to actually drive that and race it? You know, and I can guarantee you most aren't. They just want it to get the attention. So it's all the attention. What drew you to my channel? I guarantee you it was the attention of what vehicles I have and what I had bought or what I owned at that present time. I've had many conversations on my channel that people came to my channel because of this or that. I have actually lost subscribers because of vehicles I've gotten rid of. I used to have a bunch of Indian fans that used to follow my channel, and when I kind of got tired of the Indian brand, they got tired of my channel and they moved on. I just had a guy reach out when I sold my CVO Harley ST. He point blank reached out and said, the only reason I watch your channel is because of CVO ST. You sold it, you got rid of it, I'm out. Had another guy years ago that said the only reason I watch your channel is because you have electric vehicles. You kind of now have taken a sour note in electric vehicles. You're getting rid of them. I'm out. So once again, it's all about the attention of what drives people to what they want. And if they can't have it, then they'll look at somebody else that does have it. And so once again, what I'm trying to radiate back to so many people on my channel is the car industry brainwashes individuals to think they have to have a new vehicle. I mean, just like one of my commentators, or I should say my subscribers commenting yesterday, is he's never heard anybody complain about that new car smell. Right. Right. Who doesn't love buying that brand new car that has that new car smell? Who gets excited about buying a used car where you can borderline smell the guy or gal that used to own it? Yeah, I've had those. I've bought used cars. I can tell the person that was smoking cigars or vaping or smoking cigarettes or whatever it was. You can smell that odor in the vehicle that permeated and it's never going to get out. Or the person owned the dogs that had dogs in the car all the time. You can just smell from the years and years of how they had those cars. Because most people have a car, they keep it years and years. So once again, you stop and think about the car industry in so many ways has created its own problem of a guy like me. Because they do nothing but tease you 24/7 to go and look at the latest, greatest vehicle that you don't own, but maybe somehow you can figure out how you can buy it from us. And so that's what I've spent my whole challenge, my whole life is I buy a car, I buy a vehicle, I drive it for a while, I get bored of it, and I want a different one. I have many friends, I know of many people that have the same problem. They go out and buy a vehicle, 6 months later, a year later, they're bored of it, they want something different. I mean, this is huge. That's what drives the car industry. That's what drives people trading in cars. And so once again, I'm just trying to radiate back to you, okay, I'll raise my hand that I have an addiction to these cars, and I've said it from day one on my channel. I've exposed that many times. It's been talked about for years and years. But what's creating it? What's creating that problem? It's the auto industry. And the auto industry gets away with it. And what I mean by that is the auto industry knows they can roll the dice and they can continue to shove down our throats all these new vehicles through all the marketing, all the car dealerships. The car dealerships can finagle yet another deal on you. And in the end, if the deal goes sour, it doesn't matter because it's just a numbers game. And if I told you, you and I can go spend $100 million, and that $100 million we spend, we're going to reap another $100 million, but there's a 10% factor that of that $100 million we invested, 10 million may go to the bad side, but we still made $90 million. Would you be in for it? I mean, so that's how the auto industry looks at it. Is if they write 100 loans, if they sell 100 cars, and let's just say 10% of the deals go bad, I don't think it's even that high a number in all reality. I think they've got more like a 6%. Maybe they got a 3% to 6% failure rate. I don't know the numbers. But the whole point is it's a hell of a gig that you and I can be in business selling things that people really are overextending themselves, that people really don't need, but we don't care because it's just like the tobacco industry. They knew years ago you could smoke cigarettes and you maybe had a problem eventually. It's just like alcohol. You can drink. The alcohol industry knows that people out there can become raging alcoholics. I mean, you can go through all the different... So who do you blame? Who do you blame? Do you blame the person that goes to the liquor store every week, that buys yet another thing, or every day, that goes and gets their happiness bottle? Are they the problem? Or is it the liquor industry that just knows that this is a problem And yeah, I mean, that gets kind of heavy and deep, and I get all that. And I get moderation. I get discipline. I get all of that. I understand that. But once again, if you step back, what do you see advertised on a consistent basis? And I'm going to tell you straight up, it's cars. And you'll be like, well, I'm like, no, you're not thinking this through. When you drive down the road, you have nothing but cars around you. That's automatic subliminal advertising. You're driving down the road and you see a really cool new greatest vehicle drive by, and it probably catches your eye and you see it. So automatically, for the car industry, they know the biggest tool they have is putting a brand new vehicle in the streets, where it's just automatic marketing. So yes, the biggest never-ending. Do you see a bottle of liquor on top of a car every time you drive down the road? No. I mean, do you see other things that are for sale? You see a gallon of milk on top of a car as you drive down the road? I mean, so it's such a subliminal message that's being delivered to you and I over and over and over again. And then it's that feeling. It's that feeling that car dealerships know, is that when you go to a car dealership and you step inside that brand new, fresh car, the first thing is your senses is a brand new car. So already you're on that mode of, wow, this car smells so fresh and new. And then it just, once you get behind the wheel of that car and drive that car, since it's brand new, it's so nice and tight, no noises out of it. It may be really fast. It may be really cool. So it's already getting all those programs in your brain to start moving the wheels. That should I buy this? Should I not buy this? So all the things start to play into place of you wanting that vehicle, which you really don't need. And the car industry feeds that, and they reap the rewards on that weakness of so many people like me. It just doesn't have the discipline to say, no, I can't do it. I just don't have the discipline. That's the biggest thing with me, is when I want to sell something, 9 times out of 10, the only way I'll be able to sell it, I take it to the dealership to get rid of it, but I just end up buying something else. And then over the years and years and years of me buying vehicles and cars and motorcycles, I already know when you buy a new car, you can't get rid of it. You can't get rid of it. If you buy a $50,000 car, unless you've put down at least $10,000, and you do no back-end fees, and you keep it a good year, and you got a great interest rate, then yes, you can get rid of that car reasonably. You won't be able to sell it on your own. You'll be forced to go to the dealership, CarMax, Carvana, to get the wholesale price, but you'll pay it enough down where it will be a wholesale value to you. You're not going to be able to sell your car on your own. Very challenging. Especially if you start getting into the $30,000, $40,000 range of a car for somebody to be able to get finance in their own. It's very challenging. So the car industry knows this. The running joke in the car industry is they're in business to get used cars. They sell new cars to get used cars. That's the whole gig. So they want your used car, but they're going to not give you anything near or close to what you paid for it most of the time. So the whole point is, over all the years I've been buying cars and trucks and motorcycles, I've always have known that once I buy that car, it's mine. And then I dread the thought of taking the car, trading it in, and there's a $10,000 or $20,000 negative equity that, once again, the car industry. Why does the car industry allow a person to come in to buy a $50,000 car, and the car they're trading in has $10,000 negative equity, and they bury that into the new car, so now it's a $60,000 car. But the reality is the car, once it drives off the lot, instantly is a $10,000 loss. So for the person to put the 10 grand negative equity, it's a 20 grand loss. You're never going to get out of all this negative equity in these vehicles. That's why I've raised my hand on many of these vehicles. Is like, you'll never, ever catch up. It'll be years and years. It'll be 3, 4 years, 5 years on some of these vehicles before I even get close to the value. While I've spent so much, that's why I forget it. That plan won't work. I'm better off just turning off the lights, get rid of the vehicle, and if there's a $20,000 discrepancy, then so be it, and I'll just have to pay it and take some time to pay it. But the thing is, if I didn't get rid of that vehicle, it would be the ongoing payments on that vehicle with interest being charged on it. The value of the vehicle continued to depreciate. So over 2 or 3 years, I could have spent 20 grand, but I still don't have equity in the car, and I'm still going to have a repossession on the car after I probably spent $25,000 or $30,000 between insurance, personal property tax, blah, blah, blah. So it's like, forget it. That's why for people on my channel, you just don't. I think differently from you. We all do. So that's the whole ball game. Is you have to say to yourself, keep the Lightning truck. The Lightning truck, though, that is ridiculous. For Ford Motor Company, it is ridiculous for what people like me have bought a vehicle. And it wouldn't matter if you buried negative equity in that Ford Lightning truck or not. It doesn't matter. It's a $50,000 loss. If you paid $100 grand for that vehicle, you'll be lucky to get $50,000 for that vehicle. Yeah, that means you'll be lucky to go to a car dealership and have them give you $50,000. Auction will be probably in the $40,000 range. Yes. So whose fault is that? Once again, it's easy. So it's so easy in life is all of us little guys, we get brainwashed just to lay down and shut up. And no, it's really more your problem. No. Big business runs the country. Big government as well. And I'm trying to convey this morning is you have to say to yourself, when does somebody start raising their hand and saying the auto industry is out of control? The auto industry will sell a vehicle to somebody at any cost, at any ridiculous, stupid-ass scenario, and put a consumer in that car that they shouldn't be buying. And when it all goes sour, who loses? The consumer loses because big auto, big banks, big government support going after those that have made a mistake financially, and they're going to circumvent them for that mistake. Well, no, you made the mistake, Mr. Auto Dealership. You made the mistake, Mrs. Finance Person. You made the mistake, Big Brother government, that you allow this frivolous type of business model continue on where they should not be allowing people to buy cars bearing huge amounts of negative equity, buying cars that are already too expensive. And that's what I was thinking to myself yesterday was, okay, all right, so let's play the game that you need to be more disciplined, and I, for myself, have to be totally remapped, redone, redo, and got to be more disciplined. So here's the new ball game. So I'm the new guy in charge of the auto industry. I'm the new head guy that decides how the auto industry works. And what I say in the new auto industry ball game is you're only allowed to finance 50% of the vehicle. You're only allowed, if you can't finance the 50% of the vehicle, then there's no deal. And you know what is incredible? You know what that would do, the car industry? The price of these cars would instantly get a lot cheaper. It is a huge problem that people are going out and signing off on car mortgages that are house mortgages. Yeah, the new term should be car mortgages, not car payments. Well, you want to accept or not, everybody, there are many people out there that have $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 a month car payments. They're saying the national average now is up to over $700. So that just tells you that's the national average. Well, to get that number, you're in the $1,000 range. When you go buy a $100,000 new truck, even if you put 20 grand down, that's going to be $80,000. But with tax and tags and the back end fees, you're going to be at 85. 20 times 80, $1,600 a month. You're at a $1,500 a month truck payment. And that included your insurance or personal property tax. So the point is, if I was a big shot, I would say nobody gets to buy a car without 50% down. And let's see what the auto industry does. It would tank it. It would tank it. Because the auto industry would be like, whoa. We're now selling $50,000, $100,000 cars. The average person doesn't have $50,000 or $25,000 to put down in a car. Oh, right. So why would we want to do that? Why we want to force that hand, right? Oh no, Mr. Automotive Executive, your cars are too expensive. You have to lower the price on them, everybody. No, the car industry sees that the suckers are still rolling up the front door and they'll yet buy another car because the finance guys will finance it to the hilt. And once again, for you and I, as business people, are saying we don't give two shits if this guy falls flat on his ass. Because if we have 10 people lined up, 9 of them will make the payments, the one won't. We don't give a shit. We're still making a ton of freaking money. You heard the guy last night from Repo Guy. He's just one small repo operation that's doing 250 repos average a month. He's just one guy in this DC metro area. How many repos are there? What's really going on? But here's the problem. The auto industry doesn't want you to really know what's going on. Because if the auto industry shares with you that a lot of people are going broke and letting cars go and the repos are through the roof, maybe more people step back and go, well, you know what? Maybe I'm just not the only guy out there, gal, that has this challenge. And maybe it's time for me to raise my hand. And maybe it's not as bad as it really is. And maybe I do need to have my car repossessed. It's like the cruise ship where one person gets sick, and then people hear that one person got sick from eating something, and then all of a sudden 100 people are sick. It's the same thing. It's a psychological thing. So you'll never go to a car dealership ever, motorcycle dealership ever, and you ask the salesperson, how's it going? And if it's the dire straits, he'll never tell you that. He'll never tell you that. He'll tell you that everything's beautiful. Oh, it's great. We're doing great. We're doing fantastic. Why would he tell you that you're in dire straits? It then creates that energy of, oh, is there a deal? So for like the repossessions, if the repossessions are through the roof, maybe more people will be like, you know what? Is it worth it, honey? Is it worth it? And that is going on. It is going on. So how do we resolve this problem? To kind of wrap it all up here, how do you resolve the addictions to all these cars and trucks and motorcycles? Well, you know what? I figured it out. I figured out how to stop my addictions. If I don't have the money to buy my addictions, I can't do my addictions. If I don't have the credit to buy my addictions, I can't buy my addictions. So wow, guess what I said to myself? It's time to cross the bridge where I can't buy stuff anymore. Big deal. And one day I'll be the smart guy and I'll go to the dealership with 50% down and I can probably buy a car. And I know when I buy that car, if I get into myself in trouble, I can get rid of it without the dire circumstances. And or if I'm really smart, I'll just save up enough money, find a guy like me, because there's a ton of me. There's a ton of me out there. There's a ton of me out there. Not at that level that I'm at, that go out and buy something, get rid of it, and then you get a brand new, freshly used car, and you save yourself so much money. And so I'm going to find the Iceman down the road. I'll find the Iceman, where it'll be some probably young guy that's a foolish individual, and I'll get his car for half that he barely drove. And I'll be like, hey, thank you. You know, I've given so much to the automotive society, the motorcycle society. How am I the bad guy? I mean, sincerely, I have given so much to the whole automotive industry and the motorcycle industry. How can I really be the bad guy, everybody? And it's just like drugs. If you have a family member that's an raging alcoholic and they don't have the money to buy alcohol, how can they be a raging alcoholic? If you have a friend that's a drug abuser and they don't have the money to buy the drugs, then how can they be a drug abuser? If you have a person that's addicted to the sex addiction of having to pay hookers and do all these other devious things, if they don't have the money to do it, then they can't do it. Or, sadly, those type of addictions create liver, kidney, major health issues, and they have no options anymore. It's about the money. It's about their health. That's what goes on. I mean, or on the sexual side, you get a disease. I mean, that's what goes on. So that's what stops you. So at some point, something happens that stops you. So I guess for me, maybe in so many ways, my channel did me a favor by making me get too radical, so radical, that it has shut down this ongoing, never-ending having to buy yet another new vehicle is over. And maybe my channel helped me stop the addictions. And not knowing that the Ice Age TV would evolve to something totally, really kind of different from really what it was to what it is. Even I scratch my head sometimes and think that. So maybe it was all meant to be. And you got to share the journey of seeing all the good and all the bad. But is it really bad? I mean, at the end of the day, if I've got myself out of a ton of debt and I can't get myself back into a ton of debt, is that really a bad thing? I think actually I've won. In my world, I think that I'm succeeding. I mean, I really do. I think things are going to get better, not worse. And that's what's so interesting, to hear other people's views and thoughts and how they look at me, and they look at my circumstances, and I just think, you know, are the blinders on? You must have blinders. You're not looking at the clear picture. That's very challenging where we are in society. How do you focus on things? How do you come to closure and make the right decision? So that's it. I talk a lot. Appreciate all the support. I can talk all day long. I'm not. That's it. What's today's adventures? Yeah, it's always about business, man. Challenging, to be very honest with you. So the crap show's here for me right now, but we'll take care of that. So stay tuned for more adventures on Ice Age TV. Thank you for the support, the nice comments. Always enjoy the content. Love reading the comments for everybody out there. It makes me feel like I'm bringing content and people enjoy it, because that just shows when people interact with your channel, they're enjoying your channel. When nobody's commenting, to me, it's mundane, it's boring. Is it worth it? But for you all out there that are continuing to come in and make comments, it makes it worth it, because you're interacting now, and it gives me content to talk about, and I feel like we're communicating and talking to each other. That's what makes it fun. That makes the channel fun. So I'm having fun on that aspect. So that's great. So thank you so much for your participation. God bless. Have a great day.